Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, you are the best. I have so much admiration for Lisa. She is one of my inspirations out there, being fearless and speaking the truth in any and every context. And I'm so, so grateful for everyone in this room tonight, all of the heroes and warriors that are here, many of you fighting your own fights. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And a big thank you again to our amazing Life Award winners. Let's give them another round of applause. We are living in historic times. 2 years ago, the biggest barrier to victory, Roe v. Wade, was overturned. But let's be clear. While we celebrate that triumph, the battle continues fiercely. In fact, it's a bloodbath out there. Our opposition has captured most major institutions and whole political parties, and has poured billions of dollars into indoctrination. The culture of death has mobilized media, politicians, and celebrities to wage war against the most vulnerable, those with no voice to defend themselves. These are not just somebody else's children. These are our children, America's children, and they need defenders. Some tell us that life is a losing issue. Have you heard that recently? But Live Action is here to make life a winning issue. Live Action is here to win. This is our vision, a world where every human life is protected by both love and by law, from conception to natural death. This vision is the North Star of our movement. Our war is a media war. The media war is a symptom of a greater spiritual war that is raging, a sickness afflicting our culture. Right is wrong. Up is down. Confusion reigns, and lies, deadly lies, proliferate. The battle for human lives doesn't just take place in the halls of government, but in the hearts and the minds of millions. Media intimately shapes how we understand and see the world. What people believe about the value of human life on abortion can mean life or death for millions of people. And these beliefs are profoundly shaped and formed by media. We are in a media war, and this war will define the future of this nation. Live Action has the battle plan to win the media war. Tonight, we will discuss 3 of Live Action's key steps to victory. One is face-to-face. The second is Baby Oliver, Olivia's new baby brother. And the third is formation. Today, people get most of their information not from their friends, not from their churches, not from their schools, not from their families even, but from the media, especially social media. Pew Research shows that 86% of adults now get their news from digital platforms, with Facebook and YouTube leading the way. Teenagers spend an average 7 hours and 22 minutes a day in front of their screens. That's why Live Action is laser focused on dominating these platforms, flooding them with truth and life-affirming content that cannot be ignored. To change hearts and minds, save lives, and end abortion, we must meet people where they are, online, in their feeds, on their screens. And that is what we are doing. I'll never forget one of the first times that I personally realized how powerful media was. I was 18 years old. I was a student, a freshman at UCLA, and I had just done my first undercover investigation of the health center on campus and then Planned Parenthood near campus, and I published these reports in a student magazine that I had founded. I also put the videos on YouTube. I eagerly watched while the video views slowly went up. I was proud when they hit 1,000 views, although at least 100 of those views were from my mom clicking refresh up in San Jose. Mom, thank you. You're always, always, always cheering for me. And thank you, Dad. Thank you for being here. But some blogs picked up the investigation, and then the video started to go viral. Soon, there were 25,000 views, which to an 18-year-old kid in the early days of YouTube seemed like a major win. It was then that I got an email from Planned Parenthood. They were threatening to sue me for thousands of dollars and pursue criminal penalties against me. I remember getting on my knees in my dorm room and asking God for help. I also remember marveling at the power of media, how Planned Parenthood, a global abortion leader with $1.5 billion, was threatened by YouTube videos. Their threat ended up making the story reach millions more people, with traditional news outlets and cable primetime shows picking up the story and playing the tapes that we had recorded for millions more people. The media can be a powerful good, but the media's lies are our enemy. The sale of abortion is built on falsehoods, the claims that a preborn child isn't human, and the myth that abortion is somehow necessary for women's progress. The media parrots these lies, amplifying them so loudly that people stop questioning them. As the Nazi propagandist Joseph Goebbels understood and said, "Repeat a lie often enough, and it becomes the truth." That's where we come in. Live action content is proven to change hearts and minds on abortion. This isn't guesswork. We've got it down to a science. We've gathered data from online surveys, focus groups, live interviews, polling, and mountains of qualitative and quantitative research. Every day we hear from those whose minds have been transformed by what they've seen. We are in a crucial post-Roe moment. We must remember that no victory for human rights throughout history has come without a high cost. And every victory for human rights was called impossible until it was made possible. We work in the tradition of Frederick Douglass, the former slave who escaped to the North and taught the world the power of stories to awaken consciences and drive social change. Through his newspaper, The North Star, Douglass exposed the brutal realities of slavery. He fought with unrelenting grit, telling the stories of the victims of slavery. Douglass fought in a climate not unlike our own today. But there was no internet, yet the media of that day was flooded with dehumanizing propaganda that dehumanized Black Americans, portraying them in grotesque caricatures and silencing those who objected. Even many Christians at the time said that they were moderates on slavery. And you know what else? People told Frederick Douglass that he could never succeed. Slavery was too ingrained. It had existed almost as long as there was mankind. It was too essential for the economy. It was etched in the human heart. Even some of Douglass's own allies told him to slow down, that perhaps a compromise must be struck, at least for a little while. Let the states decide. Sound familiar? Today, they tell us all the same about the killing of our preborn brothers and sisters. You can't win. You're too absolutist. Compromise. Let the states decide. But we know better. Our What is Abortion series tells the truth. It features a video on D&E dismemberment abortion that causes 19% of pro-choice women to say that abortion should never be legal, and causes support for the message that abortion should never be allowed to jump 21 percentage points. If the majority of Americans could see just that one video, we would have a different country. In Florida, they are voting in just a few weeks on adding a right to kill through all 9 months of pregnancy via abortion to the state constitution. Live Action is right now on the airwaves, and our partner, Live Action Victory, telling Floridians to vote no and protect human life. Take a look at this ad.
You were 12 weeks pregnant or less, basically the width of your hand or smaller, you could basically do the entire procedure with this. But babies this big don't fit through catheters this side. You introduce an instrument called a Sofer clamp and pull, and I do mean hard, and out pops a leg about that big, which you put down on the table next to you. Tear out the spine, the intestines, the heart and lungs.
I'm an OBGYN and former abortionist in Florida. Amendment 4 will allow brutal abortions like this for all 9 months. Vote no on Amendment 4.
Our job at Live Action is to show and tell the truth about abortion. We know that seeing the reality of the atrocity of abortion awakens moral conviction. And when hearts and minds are changed, lives are saved. Like the abolitionists who came before us, we will never back down. A key difference between the fight that Frederick Douglass fought and ours today is this. Frederick Douglass could tell his own story. Think about that. He could tell his story of his escape out of slavery, and he could tell it eloquently and vividly like nobody else could. There were eventually thousands of people who could tell their story of what they endured from slavery, and later in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. could tell his story, even from a Birmingham jail. Today, the victims of abortion cannot tell their story because they were murdered before they had a chance to even take their first breath. Almost a third of my generation, over 60 million sons and daughters, have been killed by abortion in America. Think about that. These 60 million children could never tell their stories because their lives were cut short. It is our duty, I believe all of our shared duty, to tell their stories and to fight for the lives of the precious children still in danger. It can be easy to ignore this cause because the victims are largely unseen and silent. And so we must overextend ourselves in caring. Each of us were given the blessing of birth. We are alive today, and our right to life and speech is protected. It is therefore our responsibility, our sacred duty, to be a voice for the victims of abortion, to be a voice for the voiceless. The false narratives running rampant in the media are killing people. Think about the recent and tragic death of Amber Thurman in Georgia. Amber was a beautiful young mother who recently died after taking an abortion pill to kill her twin babies. Along with her twins, Amber's cause of death was the abortion pill. How was Amber's death portrayed by the media? Here's a headline from The Atlantic. The Atlantic said, "The woman killed by the Dobbs decision." The nation's paper of record, the New York Times, wrote, let's pull that up, "It was only a matter of time before abortion bans killed someone." Even People magazine, there it is, the New York Times, that paper of record, "It was only a matter of time before abortion bans killed someone." Even People magazine got in on the gaslighting. Georgia mom, 28, dies of preventable infection after being denied life-saving procedure due to state's abortion laws. These headlines and images are all lies. It wasn't pro-life laws that killed Amber. It was the exact opposite. The abortion pill, the legalized abortion pill, killed Amber and her twin babies. Sepsis, a known complication of the abortion pill, took Amber's life. Live Action News, our reporting arm that publishes thousands of original reports and investigative pieces every year, does the investigative journalism necessary to debunk the media distortions and equip influencers with the truth. The media's lies around Amber's death are not unique. And you know this if you're in media, like many of you in the room tonight are. There are dozens, hundreds of stories being told by the abortion industry and their media allies, and the cost of these lies is human lives. But when we show the truth about abortion, when we show the brutal reality of what abortion is through animations, videos, and stories, it cuts through the lies. The truth changes hearts and minds. This is Live Action's relentless focus. And this work directly leads to lives saved. Here's a story that just came in last week from a follower. We were referred by specialists at my 20-week scan when they discovered excess fluid in my daughter's brain. The doctor said that if she survived, she would likely have a very short life and probably wouldn't even be able to breathe or eat independently. We were offered termination. Although I knew abortion was wrong, I didn't really understand it, and I used to believe the lie that it was kinder than allowing a baby to suffer. I'm so grateful that God brought me to Live Action so that I could advocate for Elizabeth confidently and without guilt. The doctor who attended us said he was reading between the lines and felt that we didn't understand the situation with baby Elizabeth. What followed was an extremely grueling tug-of-war between a doctor who felt our baby should be killed and me and my husband defending her. I felt as though we had come face to face with evil, and that conversation still affects me almost a year later. But through the things I had learned from live action, I was able to see through his tactics and attempted manipulations and block his attacks. We had an extremely stressful pregnancy, but we were carried through it by our faith and the knowledge I had acquired from live action. Elizabeth was born on the 2nd of April, 2024. She is healthy and strong and was discharged from hospice care in July. She has a beautiful smile and continues to amaze us every day. This is why your support is so critical. You aren't just giving to a cause, you're contributing to the end of abortion in America. But this battle requires all of us. It requires vision, sacrifices, and yes, resources. At Live Action, we're taking this powerful approach forward with 3 exciting projects that will help us win the battle for life. Our new campaign, Face to Face, cuts through the lies, showing the unvarnished reality of what abortion is and who it harms. These voices, abortion survivors, former abortionists, women who have had abortions, former abortion workers, can't be silenced any longer. Like Frederick Douglass, they are the ones who can tell the truth in a way that no one else can. And that's what this project is about, revealing the stories the media won't show you. We filmed for days 10 participants at the center of the abortion horror story, sharing the most gut-wrenching moments of their lives. This campaign is part of Live Action's core mission, expose the evil of abortion. Here's a peek.
When I think about my abortionist, the final days of his life, I've always wondered if he ever thought of me. And I don't know that you can answer that.
I can only speak for myself. Yeah, I think about them. I lost my daughter before her 6th birthday. My brother Mark was my closest friend in the world. He died of cancer 12 years ago. And I believe, certainly I want to believe, but I do believe that when my time comes, the 2 of them are going to be there. I'll know it's time because they're going to be there. I believe that. But it scares the hell out of me that maybe those 1,200 kids are going to be there too.
We released the first episode last week, and it's already affecting the national conversation and changing hearts and minds. Here are some recent comments that we just got in the last few days. I think I became pro-life because of this video. This is really not a political issue. It's a moral one. And I'm pro-choice. This is mind-blowing. I had no idea there was dismemberment abortion. This is murder. Next, we have baby Oliver, the continuation of our beloved baby Olivia project. But as maybe you can tell by his name, this time we're having a boy. This year, we witnessed a groundbreaking moment for the movement when Live Action's Baby Olivia video was officially added to the state curriculum standards in the great state of Tennessee. This means that over 1 million public school students will now see with their own eyes the undeniable humanity of the life of the child in the womb. North Dakota did the same last year. The addition of these powerful educational tools to public school curricula is a testament to our vision, changing minds to save lives. At our Lawmaker Summit over the summer, we had 70 state lawmakers from 35 states in the room strategizing how to protect children and add life-affirming curricula to schools in their states. This is our vision in action. Baby Oliver will also make his debut in a 6-minute, lifelike, medically accurate depiction of human development, which is twice the length and the detail of baby Olivia. Unlike in most families, the younger child will get more pictures, not less. When people see life, I mean a newborn baby, you can't help but smile. And when you see life, when you discover the intricacy of human development and how human development works, it is eye-opening for so many people. I want to show you some of the draft renders and samples of the concept art, including some of the content that will be made for children, to offer you a sneak peek into the creation process for Oliver's beautiful new human life. He'll be born soon. Finally, I want to share about our formation program, which is personal to me. I have been so excited and working on this program for years. It's been a dream for years, and we will be finally launching this next year. Formation will prepare thousands of activists and influencers to be effective, winsome advocates for life and grounded in timeless and true foundations. With our new campus in Southern California, we're creating a place for Gen Z and millennials and future generations to receive life-changing education and training. These leaders will influence culture, media, and politics, equipped to carry the pro-life movement forward with both moral clarity and strategic action. The typical institutions of education, the family, the school, the church, struggle to compete with the relentless, ever-present institutions of entertainment and news, which continue the education of virtually every person every day. We need these institutions, the family, the school, the church. They are essential, but we must compete in the commanding heights of our culture. These commanding heights are media. Live Action is determined to dislodge the influence of pro-abortion groups and assume that space. We must win this fight. We must win this fight, creating an army of influencers and advocates using mind-changing content and formation. And that's what Live Action is beginning with our formation programs. We took a key step forward this past year with our Young Leaders Summit. We had 800 young people there who were starving to go meet other people who believe what they believe, learn, and go deeper into the truth. Our events next year will serve thousands of young people, and then we're going to handpick a select group of these young people, those with the greatest passion and potential, to join the North Star Society. The abolitionists looked to the North Star for direction, and today we too must be guided by a powerful light: equal protection for all persons. It's what our Constitution already promises under the 14th Amendment: equal protection for all persons. Abortion is already unconstitutional. This is the guiding foundation, the North Star, that will end abortion in our country. The North Star Society will provide unparalleled mentorship and opportunities for its members, including in-depth training on bioethics, messaging, and leadership. Participants will be emerging leaders in the fields of media, faith, and public policy. The North Star Society will serve influencers speaking to millions online. It will serve the young lawmaker who is excited to make a difference but needs more formation and direction. The North Star Society will serve the young pastor or the seminarian excited to live their vocation but in need of training on urgent issues like IVF, euthanasia, and sexual ethics. The way we do this is not very complicated, but it can be a little bit expensive. Our enemies are masters of institutional capture. For decades, Planned Parenthood has courted journalists, entertainers, and business leaders. They give out the Maggie Awards to journalists. They pay influencers and celebrities for endorsements and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on ads. They infiltrate and take over institutions in the media, the medical establishment, and the law. The pro-life movement needs a super institution dedicated to connecting dots between winning the media war, forming leaders across disciplines, and impacting policy to respect life. That is the end result of Live Action's formation program, becoming the super institution that is the missing link to end abortion. At Live Action, we've seen firsthand how changing minds leads to saving lives. We know what it takes to win. And when we change minds, when we save lives, and those saved lives help us end abortion in America. That's how we win this fight. One heart, one mind, one life at a time. Face to Face, Baby Oliver, Formation. These programs will help change minds, save lives, and end abortion. This isn't simply about holding on. It's about igniting a movement that forms and mobilizes generations to end this injustice. We don't have time to wait. We must lead the charge, and we must do it now. Live Action is in it to win. With every image we show, with every story we tell, with every truth we expose, we are changing minds, saving lives, and winning the media war. When you give to Live Action, you aren't just supporting an organization, you are fueling a media-driven movement to end abortion in this nation. I know there is tremendous faith and courage in the room tonight. I know so many of you personally, and I'm getting to know many more of you. Thank you for being here tonight and for answering the call. Thank you for dedicating your time, your stories, and your unique talent to a cause bigger than yourself. Remember, this is a spiritual war. I believe God allowed each of us to be born at this exact time in human history for a specific reason. You have a specific purpose, a role to play. This is a battle for lives, but it is also a battle for souls. I hear from friends and allies every day how tough it can be out there, how tough this fight can feel, how it can often feel and seem like the whole world is against us. Remember the words of our Lord. In this life, you will have many trials, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. Don't be surprised when the trials come. Don't be surprised when you are attacked. Don't be surprised when you face a mountain of lies. Never back down, never give up. It is in Him that we have the power to fight, and it is through Him that we have the power to win. Together, we will win this fight. Thank you.